Fasten your seatbelts for the realest Eagles and Sixers YouTuber! One who plays no clickbait and gets to the point! The myth, the legend, Nicky Stees! Come to my channel, you know the deal. Yo, boy, always keeps things real. I'm simply that you think they slate, dropping unrealistic mags, 2K takes for the clip. Even though cats like that get views closer to the milli, never hear me preach, flip on to Philly. Before you watch the Eagles all the way through the early 22, authentic talk, forget what others do. Come to my channel, you know the deal. Yo, boy, always keeps things real. The 24/7, 365 way. Sports content for the reals to fill the day. Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're having a great Tuesday. Welcome to, as you read by the title, Basketball Summer Olympics Discussion with Nicky Stees. Please do us a favor. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe to either the Hardcore Sports Network or my channel on YouTube. And yes, folks, it will be a beautiful day here, folks. If anyone's in the chat and they want to share the links to both channels, feel free to do so. And yet today we're going to talk, obviously, about the Summer Olympics, because that's the main thing going on right now that we're talking about. NFL training camps are just starting off, and I will be talking more about that. For now, I'm doing some short videos on the side. You can catch those on my channel. But today, we're going to talk about the Basketball Summer Olympics, primarily the men's side of things. Now, I'm going to briefly give the women a shout out, because it's only fair that I at least acknowledge them, because I have kept up with them a little bit, but not as much. So unfortunately, you're not going to get equal coverage for that reason. However, I'll always try to give them a shout out as we get toward the end of this thing right here. And we got Mitch here. Chad came in just as we were starting this bad boy off. So thanks for coming in, guys. And while we're still on the subject, tomorrow, me and Mitch will be doing play-by-play and live reactions for Team USA's second game of the Olympics versus South Sudan, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Make sure to tune in and check that out. I'll drop a reminder at the end of the stream for you guys, but we and Mitch will be doing that tomorrow. Mitch and his compadres will be doing the Pick and Roll podcast, episode 82. And the reason I didn't include myself, because I won't be on this episode, meeting up with family. But yes, we will be doing that tomorrow. Now, switching gears back to today's show. You're going to start off, we're going to talk about this game happened earlier today, early in the morning, Eastern Standard Time in the United States. Spain defeated Greece 84-77. Now, I think that's a bit of a surprise to me, man, because now, obviously, for Greece, I expected Canada to beat them in the first game because they're the more well-rounded team. However, I'm surprised Greece fell to 2-0 against Spain, especially with Giannis being on the team, but obviously it just didn't work out that way. One of the big things about this game was there was a point where there was a 14-point deficit going into the early fourth quarter for Team Greece, and that put them in a hole. Giannis tried his best to help them overcome it, but it just didn't work out, man. So couple things we can talk about here. Let's take a look at Spain first. Let's get props where props is due. We did have Rudy Fernandez. Some of you guys probably remember him. He's still playing. He was in the NBA for a brief bit. He had 10 points, but he did leave the game with an injury. I'll try to look for an update on that in a minute or two to see if we gotten any report on what the injury was. And you got Sergio Aldama had 19 points, 12 boards in this game for Spain. You also, you see Hernandez, whatever his name, he had 11 points, 7 boards. Unfortunately, for some of these players, we don't get their full names, especially some of these overseas players with long names. And if you see that there, Giannis doesn't have his full name, but we all know Giannis Antetokounmpo. We all know who that is from the NBA with the Milwaukee Bucks. But getting back to Spain for a second, you see Sergio Aldama, he led the way. I looked up his name beforehand. He had a solid performance in this game for Spain. And we looked, so give a shout out to him. Shout out to them for doing what they had to. Now we look at this. Giannis, solid performance, 27 points, 11 boards. But you look at the rest of the starters for Team Greece. And that's where this all comes into tuition, that there is poor chemistry on Team Greece. Because look, you got 27 for Giannis. And you look at these guys right here. None of these guys had over 10 points. The only guy, other than Giannis, that had double digits in points is Tulopoulos with 14. That's it. Which means, obviously, the chemistry isn't there for Team Greece to play well-rounded basketball. Now, some of these other bench guys you see, 2 of them had no points in this game. None. And the other starters not even one had 10 points. And obviously, Giannis is doing his best statistically, but it's just not meshing well with his countrymen for this Olympic Games. Obviously, Giannis is doing most of the work, but it's not good for the chemistry of the team. Now, I'm not as familiar with Greece, obviously, so we don't know what the problem is specifically. We don't know if it's Giannis ball hogging, that's the formula they've gotten used to. And that might be playing a role in it. They gotten used to Giannis ball hogging, and it's not bleshing well with the rest of the team. Now that they're actually in the Olympics, going up against the likes of Team Canada and even Spain, which is a bit of an upset to me. But then again, we're coming from the perspective of we only know what these NBA players are doing. We're really following the NBA players. So maybe some of these people overseas in Europe that are following basketball more closely, maybe they saw this coming. Maybe some of them were expecting this. But, for us, obviously, in the States, knowing Giannis, we were thinking, okay, Team Spain doesn't have as strong a roster on paper from our point of view. I mean, Canada, we kind of expected that because we know Team Canada is loaded with some guys. You got guys like, you got Dylan Brooks, SGA, Jamal Murray, all those guys right there. You got a decent roster there on Team Canada full with some NBA players. We kind of expected that. But this right here with Greece, I guess it's just not working out, man. Well, there's Chad giving a shout out to Mitch real quickly in the chat. I guess so for now, just Team Greece's style, it's just not suited for the Olympics. Now, to be fair, I mean, they do have one more game, but it's not going to sit out well for them in the quarterfinals for whatever matchup they're going to go against right there. So with that being said, let's switch gears now because, Team Greece isn't doing that great out of all the teams we followed closely here in the States. You see Team Canada, France, and Team USA are impressing early on. Now, we're going to start a little bit with Team Canada. Now, Team Canada is supposed to be playing on. Now, apparently, Team Canada and Australia, they play today. And there's that game going on right now. It was going on earlier right now. Here's a live update. My first time seeing it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share the screen with you guys. This is my first time checking out the Team Canada versus Team Australia. So we're going to see. We got Team Canada won 93-83 against Australia, who a solid team. Put up a decent outing in their first effort. But let's take a look at what happened. This is our first time seeing it. Let's look at it together. So for Team Canada, we got RJ Barrett led the way in points scored. You also got 7 boards and 5 assists from him as well. Dylan Brooks had a solid performance with 16, 3 boards and an assist. Also, Dort had a solid performance, 11 points, 3 steals, 2 assists. They got SGA had 16 as well, and 4 boards and 3 assists. Solid performance from the starters. The bench guys, Jamal Murray had 5 points for us off 24 minutes, was 2 for 7 from the field, 1 for 5 from 3. But Team Canada, their starters mainly carried the way for this one right here. But you see the difference between Greece and Canada is these guys from Canada scored more. If we look up at the score box here, Australia was leading. They led at the end of the first. They outscored them in the second, so they were up. Then Canada played stronger in the second half. But hey, that's how it works right there. It's not a first half game. And we're going to take a look for Australia. Some of the starters, Josh Giddey led the way with 19 points, 7 boards. You also had Patty Mills got 8, 2 boards. And Josh Giddey did have 6 assists. Solid performance there. And then you got, here off the bench, Exum from Australia led the way off the bench with 15. Solid effort there in Australia. Now, Australia, even though they lost, I can't really say anything about them because bad about them, they just got beat by a better team. But that's why I said I feel like Canada is one of the second behind USA is the favorites to possibly win the gold here. And you got a lot of the NBA players are playing on Team Canada, the second most in this Olympic Games, because Canada's border is right by the United States. Obviously, there's going to be some players there. You got the Toronto Raptors from the NBA playing Canada. Obviously, there's going to be some NBA players here. Take a little further look at this game real quickly. Canada, neither team was really that efficient from the three-point line. Canada just a tiny bit, 36. Team Canada got some more looks at the free throw line. They made 73% of their free throws. They were out-rebounded, but ultimately at the end of the day, Team Australia had 18 turnovers. That was one of the biggest factors in this game as well, beside Moore's most points scored. There's a brief overview right there. But even though Team Canada, even though they lost, they're not Team Canada, Team Australia, they did lose the game, but guess what? I think they could still bounce back. I don't see them winning the gold, but Team Australia, as you see from this game, they're a competitive team. They'll at least make these games competitive. They can at least, they gave Team Canada a nice run, but ultimately they came through. And then you got France as well. Team France had a nice performance in their opener back on Saturday. They took care of Brazil 78-66. Once Wemby got hot in that game, finishing with 19 points and 9 boards and 2 assists, they got rolling. Even Nick Batum got going for that team a little bit. With 19 points and 5 boards, I mean, hey. But yeah, I'm telling you, but that's another team right there we got to watch out for. Team France. And right now, we got them. They're going on right now in overtime. Team France is playing Japan. They're about to be 2-0. They're up 92-87. We're going to take that's still going on live with 33 seconds left in overtime. We want to take a live look at that one real quickly. We'll share the tab with you guys. Here we are. We got 33 seconds in OT. According to the score box, could be less now, but it's 92-87 France over Japan. And so for Japan, you got Rui Hachimura at 24. Kawamura leading with 26 points. And we look right here. So far, you got Wemby only got 10 points, but he does get 10 boards, 7 assists. Evan Fournier leading the way with 14 of the starters. Off the bench, you got Struzzel leading the way off the bench with 15. 5 for 7 from the field. 4 for 6 from the three-point line. No minutes. That's a glitch right there, obviously. Because obviously he's getting playing time. He's got to be scoring something, but they'll probably calculate them at the end. But it is a 4-point game now. I mean, France has the ball right now, so they should be able to run out the clock and close this one out and get the victory. But we'll just stay with this one for a little bit till it's officially over. Let's take a look at the team stats so far, what got us to this point. Main factors we're looking for. France is out rebounds Japan 39-34. There's slightly higher efficiency from the field, 46% to 44%. And then they're both about 45% from three. Both shot 31 free throws, made 14 of them each. Japan has gotten more looks from the free throw line, which is one of the things that's helped them stay in this game. Team France has gotten more assists, but Team France also had more turnovers. What I'm seeing right here, there has been some sloppy play from Team France, which has helped keep this game close. In Wemby, we didn't see as dominant performance as I just showed you guys, but it looks like Team France should close this thing out. And we're either at a timeout right now or it's about to be a closer right now. We still got 6 seconds. So we're waiting for this right here to end. Japan, though, they are 0-1. France 1-0. That'll put them up 2-0 as long as they do close this thing out, which they should. They do have possession. But that would put France up at 2-0. And for games, so let's take a look at tomorrow's games real quickly. See who's up on the schedule for tomorrow. Besides Team USA, then you got Puerto Rico and Serbia. We'll see what Jokic and Bogdanovic do for Serbia. And we got Team USA and South Sudan. And it's official. Team France gets the W. They move up to 2-0. As expected. So far, are the favorites, like we said. Team Canada and Team France are doing their thing. And when we come right back, I'm just going to take a quick break for a few minutes. And then we're going to talk more about Team USA, which is what you guys probably came here for. So stay tuned. I'm just going to put some copyright-free music in the background. If you need to take a few seconds while you're listening, maybe go to the bathroom, finish a chore around your house, or whatever it is you got to do, feel free to do so. And we'll be back in a few minutes. And I'm back, folks. After a quick break, now we back at it. You can tell by the banner on the screen we were going to talk about. We will talk about Team USA defeating Serbia in the opener 110-84, which I briefly touched up on my YouTube short. For those that didn't get to see it, I'll briefly reiterate. To the people that were saying there's something wrong with Team USA, it became apparent that was an overreaction, and there's nothing wrong with the team at all. What's happening is it was taking them time to adjust. They had to figure out the rotation in some of those early warm-up games. And in some of those games, they came in, say, sleeping on the other teams like Team Germany, taking them for granted, and they kind of woke up the second half. Now, against Serbia, they did get caught early on. Serbia took a 10-2 lead on them, but they did. Coach Kerr did call a timeout. They did make some adjustments. Most notably, KD came into the game, and he balled out for them against Serbia. He scored 21, and he helped. He was the second leading scorer for us in that win. And that was right. And we could look at it. We saw what was going on in that game. We saw who led the way. It was Kevin Durant off the bench. Wait, with 23, mind you. And you know who was leading the way? Number one, who's leading the way? The starters, right? It was LeBron James for the starters that was leading the way. You also had Drew Holiday with 15. As performed, you had Steph Curry coming in with 11. You see KD off the bench at 23. He was 5 for 5 from the three-point line. That was the big difference maker. Once Coach Kerr decided, you know what, take it. We're not doing things. It's not working the way we want it to. Let's put KD in. We've seen him in these games before. Let's go with the guy we're familiar with. Now, initially, Coach Kerr didn't start KD because of his injury, which makes sense, until all of a sudden we were getting hit early and Serbia took an 8-point lead on us early. All of a sudden they realized, you know what? KD is one of our valuable assets of this team. He knows what it's like to be on the stage. Let's take a shot. And that worked. We adjusted in our favor, and Kevin Durant had a nice opening game there. And LeBron had 21, as he said. He's still, even at 40 years old, he's going out there out of the starters, and he's leading the way. He's leading the way with minutes. And out of all the starters, he's scoring the most points. Look, say what you want about LeBron James. You don't have to like the guy, but guess what? He is a top 5 all-time player, like the man or not. He's going out there. He's putting that Team USA on his back to win us another gold medal, and he's doing what he has to do. And some LeBron haters don't like the guy because he's outspoken about issues, about social issues, because they don't agree with his stances on it. But guess what? For a lot of those same people that don't agree with his social or political stances, they like seeing Team USA in sports, whatever sport it may be, win games. They like that. And you see LeBron James is going out there. He's leading them. He's leading the way. He did it in the warm-up games when we went 6-0. He led us against South Sudan the first time around. And then he led us against Germany. He was leading the way, refusing to lose. But, yeah, and for some people, they don't like LeBron because of his stances on social and political issues. They don't believe some of the same stuff he does. But guess what? He's leading the way for us to help us win a gold medal. You got to respect that. And he's doing it at 40 years old. That goes to show you LeBron still has something left in the tank. Now, maybe he's a basketball player. Like you could say a decade ago, he's up here. Maybe now he's like down here a little bit. But you can't tell me the guy's washed up. The fact that he can still go at that age is showing something. And he's been helping lead the Lakers to some of these playoff runs in recent years. Granted, they've been getting to the play-in tournament and having to win that just to make the playoffs. They ran into the Denver Nuggets. That is true. However, he still plays a factor in the Lakers having a shot of winning a championship these past couple seasons. LeBron James has still played a role in keeping this late, and he played a role in that championship win 4 years ago when he was in his late 30s. Was getting to his late 30s. So don't tell me that the guy's washed up. Like him or not, he's doing what he has to do. We look here, we see Anthony Edwards had 11 points. Another takeaway from that game. Anthony Edwards is going to be good coming off the bench. And Anthony Davis, he'll be good to get you some of those boards as well. He's not going to be the most efficient scorer, but he'll get you some boards. We didn't really have a whole lot of blocks in game one, but Anthony Davis could get you those blocks against South Sudan and Puerto Rico or going forward once we reach the quarterfinals, possibly all the way up to the gold medal round. There's two ways AD can be valuable off the bench, mainly for his presence, for getting rebounds, and possibly some blocks. He'll be most effective there. And Anthony Edwards can certainly lead the way. Him can lead the way. If they do decide to go with KD as the starter, then he'll definitely lead the way off the bench from what we've seen so far. Now, will that trend continue tomorrow? We don't know. It's a different game, different situation. Things could work out differently. But here's what we can say for sure, that LeBron James will lead the way, and that a guy like Anthony Davis will be a valuable presence on defense. And we can say for sure that so far Embiid's a poor fit for Team USA in these Olympics. Yeah, ironic since I have his jersey on for this, but I got his jersey on because the color scheme fits with Team USA. So it fits perfectly. 1 second. And now, if you've been following Team USA recently, Embiid has not had any standout performances for us at all in this role. He's just the Olympics is not suited for his style of basketball. Because the Olympics isn't the same as the regular season, because we talked about it last week on the Pick and Roll podcast. Blaze, shout out to Blaze Radio. He brought this point up that what's one of the biggest things for it is you got guys leading the way in this role. Like, you got all these egos in one place, got all these starters now. You got to figure out, how do you take all these NBA starters that you're used to playing and starting roles for their team? They're used to leading the way. Now you got to bring all these guys together, find the right way, find the chemistry, right way to put these guys together. How does this team form chemistry? Who's best suited in the lead role? Who's best suited to get the most of the looks on offense? Who's best suited coming off the bench for minutes at a time? And you're doing this with guys that are used to starting. So you're asking these guys to play roles they're not familiar in, which can be a challenge for the coaches and for the players. So even though we got all these professional athletes, it's not as easy as it looks, because not everyone's going to mesh well in this situation. And point being is, back to number 21 for the Sixers, Joel Embiid, he's not doing that. He's not really meshing well with this team. He only had 4 points in the win against Serbia. He only got 11 minutes in the game, because once it became apparent that he's not really doing well in this role, he shot 2 for 5 from the field. He got 2 boards, and he got 3 fouls called against him in just 11 minutes. It's obvious he's not doing well with this style right here. It's not the NBA rules Embiid's used to that his game's adjusted to. He's had time to adjust to the Olympic style, but it's just not suited for him. Now, if Team USA still goes on and wins a gold medal, that's not really going to be much of a hit to him at all, because they'll still get to say he was part of the gold medal team. And now that I think about it, now we see why Embiid chose to play for USA instead of representing his home country. Because it was obvious, it's obvious his style is not suited for the Olympics. If he would have tried to carry his guys to a gold, it wouldn't have gone as well. It wouldn't have. But, hey, that's just the way it is. Not everyone's going to do well in these Olympics games. Some guys try, it doesn't work out as well. Usually for Sixers players, we just don't do that well. Remember Iverson in the 2004 Olympics? He shot 37%. He just didn't mesh well with that Olympic style. Now, I know that was 2 decades ago, and AI was coming off an injury that caused him this significant time the previous season, but a lot of these Sixers guys don't really do well in the Olympics. But hey, it is what it is. Team USA is still in control. They're still leading the way. Embiid hasn't hurt the team, so that's a good thing. We still got all these other guys here like Steph Curry, Drew Holiday, Anthony Edwards coming off the bench, AD off the bench, LeBron leading the way. they're still doing their thing to help us win games. Now, tomorrow we play South Sudan, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And guess what, folks? That will be tomorrow on my channel. I'll be doing it alongside Mitch Koski. Me and Mitch will be streaming it tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Team USA versus South Sudan. Play-by-play live reactions. That's coming up tomorrow. It's coming up tomorrow. We'll have to see we will see what goes down there. We'll see what Team USA does in that game. And also later today, guess what we got? We got another game going on later today. We got Team Germany. We'll be playing today at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time against Brazil. We'll have to see what goes on there. Maybe we'll talk about that at YouTube short later today. And then tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Pick and Roll Podcast, episode number 82. I will not be a part of this week's episode as I'm meeting up with some family members, but it has been pushed back to 6 p.m. for all the Pick and Roll fans because of the Team USA South Sudan game being 2 hours before the regularly scheduled time. But that is tomorrow for EA basketball fans. And to everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's stream. It was a nice stream right here. Since down by the Jersey Shore, it's a cool day, not a humid day. I don't know where it is by your area, but I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Try to enjoy the outside if you have the opportunity to, and make the most of your day. Again, thanks for tuning in. This episode will be up on Spotify. I will post a notification on Twitter when it's up on Spotify. So again, thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your day. It's Nicky Steve signing off. Me and Mitch will catch you 3 p.m. tomorrow for Team USA South Sudan. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.